to argue with a cat. Chapter 8. Talk with your body. The eye intrigue. Convince with tone and gesture. Cats understand that words are overrated. A cat's body language can really persuade. The same thing goes for us humans, even when it comes to persuading ourselves. For instance, good posture can fake confidence even when you're terrified speaking in front of a strange audience. Faking confidence can help you feel confident. Then there are gestures: lifted chin, shrugged shoulder, obscene finger. Think of all the ways you can communicate without saying a word. Not that we can ever be as silently articulate as a cat. Tragically, most of us humans lack a tail, and none of us will ever master the art of the silent meow. But if we combine body language with words, we can upgrade our skills in arguing, even with a cat. Let's start with posture. First, tuck in your tail. Cats know that if you can keep a dignified, erect stance, you hardly need to exercise. Good posture makes you look fit. The trick is to stand and sit tall without any apparent effort, something cats do naturally. But then cats have the advantage of 4 equal-sized limbs. Our arms and legs deal makes good posture harder for us, and so we need to work at it. To stand like a leader, you should think of 3 key points: hips, shoulders, and head. 1. Tuck in your hips so that your tail, that is, your rear end, doesn't stick out. Pull your shoulders back. Then let gravity relax them straight down toward your hips. One way to get there: before you walk into a room, place your hands behind your head, barely touching the back of it. Pull your elbows back as far as you can. Hold this surrender pose for 5 seconds. Relax and do it again. Balance your head between your shoulders. You should be able to relax your neck completely without your head wandering anywhere. Sitting works much the same way. It's just harder to sit straight than to stand straight. If you're alone on a recliner, reading or watching television, throw posture out of the window. Sit any way you want. This is a persuasion book, not a fitness book. But suppose you're at a job interview or appearing as a guest on Jimmy Fallon. The key to a great sitting posture is the head. Imagine your head as a balloon floating straight up toward the ceiling. Now, let it pull your spine in the same direction. Keep that spine away from the back of the chair. It's a posture killer. To keep from looking stiff in this pose, relax your shoulders straight down. Not forward, but down. Good. You're sitting like a cat. Why go to all this bother? A good posture makes you almost as respectable as a cat. People will see you as a confident person. They may even ask if you've been working out. A good posture can give the appearance of losing 10 to 20 pounds. Sit properly while you have dessert. What does that have to do with persuasion? A lot. Posture is the body language version of basic grammar. It makes you seem well put together, like you know where you're coming from. With a good posture, like good grammar, you can hang out with the best of them. Besides improving your image, posture can make you seem like a good listener. You're more likely to persuade if people think you're listening to their own opinions. Here's a great way to look as if you're listening even more than you are. It does pay to really listen. It just pays even more to show that you are listening. Start with the head. When someone else is talking, experiment with 2 ways of holding your head. First, look straight into the speaker's eyes. Nod frequently, with little nods, not big ones. Big dramatic nodding implies you already know everything the person is saying. This is obnoxious. Now, Try looking down at the speaker's feet, still nodding slightly. This makes you seem as though you are listening intently. The first method is good if the speaker is telling a story or a joke. The second is best when the speaker is angry or upset. Looking down makes you less threatening. It's important to make this effort to look like you're listening. Cats do it by swiveling their ears. This is a much better listening technique, but most of us humans look ridiculous when we swivel our ears. When you are the one doing the speaking, you need to do more than just stand straight. At the same time, try to keep your torso still. Here's a trick for when you speak to a group. Picture strapping a 20-pound iron ball to your waist. Imagine it dangling between your legs. Now, think of keeping that ball from swinging. You do this by avoiding shifting your weight from leg to leg. And keep your feet still. This rock-solid stance makes your points seem rock-solid. Pure confidence. This imaginary weight trick works even if your audience is just one person, and even if you're sitting. Think of balancing right down your middle. This will help keep you from fidgeting or squirming. Your mother always told you not to fidget or squirm, and she was right. It distracts the listener. For inspiration, watch a cat for an hour or two, especially a cat that's looking out the window at nothing in particular. An ear might move every now and then, just to show she's listening. Otherwise, monk-like, nothing phases me, stillness. Now use your paws. Once you have mastery over your body, it's time to think about your gestures. Because we lack a tail, most of our gestures have to be made with our arms and hands. This actually gives us an advantage over cats when we're shooting a video of ourselves. It's hard to see a cat's tail when he's talking. Of course, cat videos will always be more popular, partly because they talk less than we do. You can express a lot just by crossing your arms. Avoid tucking your hands into your armpits. That signals defensiveness. It makes you look guilty or weak. Instead, grip around the outside of your upper arms, the biceps and triceps. This shows strength and self-respect. In general, crossed arms communicate skepticism. They make you seem like a tough nut to crack. Cross your arms if someone is trying to talk you into doing something you don't want to do. But avoid this posture if you're the one trying to do the persuading. Cats do not cross their arms to show self-respect or skepticism. Instead, they elegantly curl their tails. You will often see this gesture when you're trying to get a cat to do something he chooses not to do. For humans, the opposite of crossed arms is the open-handed gesture. Use this when giving a talk. Stand with arms out as if you're ready to hug someone, palms facing the audience. This says, I have trust in you and have nothing to hide myself. Use the open-handed gesture at the end of a persuasive talk when you're ready to let the audience make up its mind. In a one-to-one argument, this gesture says, I don't want to fight. Let's find a solution. It's great for dealing with an angry person, or at least an angry person who isn't going to punch you while your arms are spread out. The cat version of the open-handed gesture is a straight tail. When the tail sticks right out behind the cat, it signals trust as well as innocence. Nobody is going to step on this, the tail says. I feel perfectly safe around these big-footed humans. At the same time, the cat is saying, I have a clear conscience. I have not knocked anything off a shelf for at least 10 minutes. Other hand gestures for us non-cats. Moving fists show power and aggression. Twitching hands can signal humor, anger, or angry humor. Circling hands show a kind of progress. Moving both hands at once from side to side is a good way to imply, on the one hand, kinds of points. Most of the time, it's best to make the hands do the bulk of your gestures. Hold the rest of your body still. That's what cats do. Instead of moving hands, they use a twitching tail. A cat who twitches just the tip of her tail may be ready to fight, either in play or for real. A cat that's getting ready to pounce, or at least considering the possibility of a pounce, will swing her whole tail from side to side. Some cats wag their tails in pleasure, like a dog. It's important to know the difference between these gestures so that you know when you're about to be pounced on, bitten, or played with. Watching a human's hands can tell you the same thing. When it comes to gestures, humans and cats aren't that different, really. Finally, your beautiful eyes. Cats know that the most persuasive facial expressions start with the eyes. Actually, cats start and end their expressions with the eyes. They understand what the great Roman orator and rhetorician Marcus Tullius Cicero said, "The eyes are the window to the soul." To get people and cats to like and trust you, make sure you show the right kind of soul, that you're the kind who listens and empathizes, makes good choices, and is overall a good sort of person. That's a lot of responsibility for the eyes to bear, but they're up to it. Think in terms of listening eyes and speaking eyes. Listening eyes pay attention, and they think deeply about what the speaker is saying. To show you're paying the best attention in a one-on-one conversation, try this trick. Look into the eyeball, just one eyeball of the speaker for a second or two. Then switch your gaze to the other eyeball. Keep moving back and forth. This way you show deep attention, almost as if you're getting into the other person's head without creepily staring. Try it. It works. Speaking eyes lead the face in whatever emotion you're trying to express. If you're saying something humorous, try to smile only with your eyes. Direct all the energy in your face right to your eyes. Your listeners will see them twinkle or sparkle. That effect comes from the contractions of tiny muscles around your sockets, as well as the enlargement of your pupils. Now, try expressing sadness through your eyes. Let your brows and the rest of your face do their thing, but don't pay attention to anything but your eyes. Let them lead the way. Look in a mirror, doing the humor and sadness eye thing. Experiment with other emotions, excitement, fear, anticipation, courage, love, anger. Again, channel all your energy into your eyes. With practice, you may find yourself expressing almost as well as a cat. The face's other persuasive tool, of course, is the mouth, but this is a highly advanced, extremely sophisticated instrument. Yes, you can make it smile and frown, you can purse your lips or make them form a big surprised "oh," but only a cat can perfect the epitome of mouth persuasion, the silent meow, or SM. Even the finest actors in Hollywood, the human ones, that is, cannot match a cat's SM. It combines endearment and ingratiation with a special feline variety of hypnotism. You can learn a lot by studying this method, but don't expect to do it effectively yourself. It seems deceptively easy. While sitting gracefully on the floor, you gaze meaningfully up into the face of your victim. Now open your mouth as wide as you can, wider, and resume gazing. Repeat until your victim gives in to whatever you want. Usually involves food or play, though you may have other needs. Go on, try it. You will certainly fail to achieve anything but making a person laugh. Still, it's worth the experiment, if only to learn a valuable lesson. We will never come close to the persuasive ability of a cat. Cat wisdom. A silent meow trumps a loud one. Eloquent silence and a pathetic expression can persuade more than a shout.